KCIM Sports presents the Pizza Ranch Saturday Morning Coaches Show with Sports Director Jeff Blankman.
Thank you very much, John. Good morning, everybody. Welcome here to the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show. We've got a busy one. 9 coaches to get to today. Randy Beeson, Shane Vaughn, Katie Cook, Deb Danner, Andrew Klink, Eric Noggle, Tracy Hoffman, Sam Vanami, and Sean Minahan, all scheduled to join us this morning. We're going to run you through the team stuff from last night, and again, recap stories with results from all of last night's sporting events are available on the Brinks Exterior Sports Report at sports.1380kcim.com, also on the CB Sports Network Facebook page and Twitter page as well. We'll start with the wrestling. Kemper boys went up to the Humboldt Invite last night, finished up in 5th place with 163 points. They did have 5 individuals to finish in the top 3. Boys basketball scores from last night. Arweva edges West Harrison in overtime at 62-61. Audubon falls to Tri-Center 72-52. It was Carroll over Gilbert 82-76. Elsewhere in boys basketball, Coon Rapids Bayard knocks off Caminita 56-48. It was Glidden Ralston downing Peyton Churdan 64-35. It was Esac County over South Central Calhoun 63-46. And rounding out the boys basketball scores, it was ICAM Manning falling to Riverside by a final of 57-52. Over on the girls' side of things, Carroll loses a heartbreaker, losing to Gilbert 49-48. Coon Rapids Bayard, matchup of ranked teams. They absolutely rout Caminita 43-22, held them to 4 points in the entire first half. Esac County knocks off South Central Calhoun 44-36. It was Glidden Ralston downing Peyton Churdan 57-20. Other girls basketball scores, ICAM Manning losing last night on the road at Riverside 51-18. And Arweva put together a pretty good offensive performance, but they lose to West Harrison 62-44. And again, we'll be back. Randy Beeson set to join us next right here on the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show.
Here at Pizza Ranch, we love our basketball, just like you love everyone's favorite buffet. Hot, fresh pizza, the country's best chicken, fresh, cool salad bar, and dessert options that are so good, it's like sinking the winning shot at the buzzer. Pizza Ranch is a perfect meal option every day of the week. And to make it even sweeter, we have extended hours every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Whoa, that's good.
Pizza Ranch, located just off Highway 30 in Carroll, open 7 days a week.
Randy Beeson, the head boys basketball coach, of course, with the Carroll Tigers, joining us here as we start off this Pizza Ranch Coaches Show on this Saturday morning. Tigers picking up a big win to move to 2-0 on the season last night. Randy, appreciate you joining us. Congratulations on the start of the year.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it.
You bet. We'll bounce back to that overtime win over Kemper coming up here just a couple of minutes, Coach. But you guys must like giving the fans, some exciting finishes. An 82-76 victory last night against Gilbert. Sounds like you kind of controlled the game a little bit. Just couldn't quite put them away, but get another nice win.
Yeah, we're trying to pack the stands, so I figure if we can make games exciting and get more fans there and just be fun for everybody. So, it was a pretty exciting game last night. Both teams getting out and running and scoring a lot of points. 82-76 is the final score, and it was back and forth the whole way. It was close. We got up maybe 10, 11 points in the first half. They did a good job of closing out the second quarter, and I think we were leading by 7 going into halftime. And, of course, they scored the first couple baskets. I think they went on about a 10-2 run because they took the lead 38-37 a couple minutes into the third quarter. And so then it was back and forth. From there, I think we took the lead again, got up by 3 or 4, but we lost the lead again about halfway through the fourth quarter, and give our guys credit. They battled hard and found a way to make a couple plays down the stretch and get the win.
Coach, and you were telling me, too, that you guys had to do this with a little bit of a different lineup, a couple of guys out tonight. So a lot of guys stepped up in different roles.
Yeah. We talk a lot about, everyone's a part of the team, and it takes everybody, and everybody's got a role. And, we got a lot of solid basketball players, and we were without a couple of our starting guys, and we had bunch of guys stepped up. Will Schultes started the game for us. Matt Carlson started the game. At the point, I don't think Matt came out of the game. He's just a sophomore, so he's learning. But to take control and be the point guard on our team and play the whole game, there's a few mistakes in there, but he did such a good job defensively, and he made the right plays down the stretch. And Will Schultes hit a big three late in the game to get us ahead. So those guys did a really nice job. But a couple other guys that, struggled a little bit the first game of the year had really nice games. Caden Langling scored 25 for us last night, hit some threes, made a bunch of free throws, just had a really nice game. Attacked the basket off their press. Peyton Wardell was outstanding as well, finding a way to get to the basket and finish around the basket. Ended up fouling out late in the game. He was guarding one of their better players, so he was all over the place like always. And Evan Hammer was outstanding like always. We needed him to get going there in the fourth quarter and take over the game, and had 8 points in the fourth quarter and made some big shots. And he got himself in a little bit of foul trouble early on and was able to play with 2 fouls. And I think that's all the fouls he ended up having for the whole game. So, but once again, we had 3 guys in double figures, a couple of those other guys off the bench. Carter Essick, Noah Henners, Blake Malinsky got in the game, did some nice things too. So it takes a team effort every night. You never know when it's your turn and when you're going to be called on. And I love the fact that the guys came in and played hard, and we competed till the end.
And Coach, you got to love starting 1-0 in the conference, but you're 2-0 overall. You guys coming off a great overtime win Tuesday night against a good Kemper ball club. As we flash back to that game on Tuesday, Evan Hammer hits that kind of fadeaway, falling down jumper off the glass at the horn to give you the 1-point win. I know you've went back and studied the film. What did you take away, as you rewatched the game that maybe, you don't always get to see while you're in the heat of the moment?
Yeah, it was crazy. It was back and forth, basketball's a game of runs, and we got hot early on and made some shots, and then all of a sudden we turned it over too much. Defensively, we were pretty good most of the game. We just had too many turnovers, and those turnovers led to easy ones in transition, and got us in trouble a little bit. But once again, guys competed, that type of environment and atmosphere for the first game for a team that hasn't played a lot of basketball together and hasn't been on that stage. So just was super proud of the guys of finding a way to finish the game, and what a fun rivalry back and forth. It's these kids know each other so well, and they're just, it's fun to watch them compete. They're talking to each other in a nice way the entire game, and luckily we were on the right end at the end. Evan Hammer made a huge play and made a big basket, and that was a fun way to start the year.
Randy, you mentioned the hot start. I kind of said it during the broadcast that night with Todd Danner helping me. I said, Todd, sometimes when everything's going well for a team early, it's hard to keep that, and then it's kind of how the team responds when things start not going as easy and as well. And you guys, I thought, got off to that great shooting start. Then the shots kind of started to not fall. Kemper made a run, but I think you got to be happy with the way your guys responded.
Yeah, for sure. We got up 10-2 early on, so played some really good defense, held them to 2 points in the first 4 minutes, and forced a bunch of jumpers and got that first rebound, which is good. And all of a sudden, second quarter, we played some pretty good defense for the first 3 or 4 minutes, but then we didn't score for the last 3 or 4 minutes of the quarter. So a couple turnovers led to some easy ones, and all of a sudden it's a pretty tight game. And they came out in the third quarter and made some shots early on and took the lead. And then all of a sudden we held them to 2 or 3 points there for 3 or 4 minutes, and we got some shots to fall, so it was just kind of a game of runs back and forth. And, the last 4-5 minutes of the fourth quarter, it's a tie ball game back and forth. Neither team scored, and all of a sudden you get the 2-point lead, and you're thinking, man, we got a chance here. We just got to get another basket to get it to 4, make it a 2-possession game, and a couple turnovers here. Luckily, we got a couple more stops, and Casper Bauer hit a big shot at the end of regulation, and we found a way to get to overtime. Evan Hammer was hurting, was cramping up, and we got up 2 there late in the game, and he could barely walk back to play defense. But he found a way to battle it out, and at the end of the game, you want to put the ball in your best player's hands and see what he can do. So made a big shot, and it was a fun one.
Coach, now you at least get a weekend off to kind of recover from those 2 games a little bit and catch your breath. But back in action Tuesday, you got North Polk coming in. This has been a team that I don't know if he's graduated. They've had a really, really good player on a really good team down there for the last few years. But what do they look like this year? Yeah,
they made it state last year. They're really good defensively. Luckily, they lost 3 or 4 of their guys. They got the Postle kid back. They got another kid that made, I think, 5 or 6 threes in their first game. They beat a really good Pella team first game, so I have a feeling they're going to be really good. They're always well coached and really good defensively. So, we've had a chance to win a couple of our first games and have found a way to battle, and a lot of mistakes and a lot of learning going on, but we're just trying to get a little bit better each game. So, we'll keep getting better. I forgot to mention Ryan North as another guy that played well for us last night. He came in, took a big charge. So these guys are all they're all learning. They're all learning every day of practice and every game, and we're just going to continue to try to be a little bit better. And the nice thing is we start off the year with 4 straight home games. So we get to play at home again on Tuesday and home again the following game against Storm Lake on a Saturday. So we're going to enjoy these home games, and we'll keep trying to pack the gym because those games are fun and put on a good show. Hopefully one of these games it'll be a little more relaxing, but if we have to grind it out and our guys compete and find a way to win at the end, we'll take that too. So we'll just keep trying to get better.
Well, Coach, congrats again on the 2-0 start. We'll have Casey out there, Casey Miners on Tuesday. I'll be there on Saturday for that Storm Lake game. So looking forward to covering you guys again coming up both games next week. So congrats. Appreciate you joining us here today.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff. Appreciate the coverage like always.
Head coach Randy Beeson again with the Carroll Boys basketball team. We'll step away. We're going to take a break. We'll be back. We're going to talk Kemper Boys wrestling. Head coach Shane Vaughn set to join us next.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
We're back here at the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show talking at Kemper Boys Wrestling right now as head coach Shane Vaughn joining us on this Saturday morning. The Knights headed up to Humboldt for the Joe Fitch invite and had a very strong showing last night. Coach, it's always good to catch up with you.
Yeah, good to be here.
You bet. Appreciate you getting up early this morning after getting back late last night. I know you guys rolled in about 11:15 or so last night, but a fifth-place finish, scored 163 points, had 5 different wrestlers out of your 11 finish up in the top 3. So overall, you're pretty pleased with the way the first meet of the year went?
Yeah, not bad. We knew coming in team-wise with 3 open weights would be a little tough, but we had a goal set of being top 4, and finished just outside of that. But just a couple matches one way or another, and we were right there. So not a bad showing overall, especially first time out of the year.
What was the biggest thing you took away from last night?
Just a lot of little things we got to clean up. Shot finishes, more work on bottom, a little bit of kind of match situation awareness, things like that we got to improve on. But I was pretty happy with how aggressive we looked early on in matches.
Now, I know you and I were chatting during the commercial break. You said you had a few shots that didn't get in and it ended up costing you guys. But sounds like even though you don't want to see that, you got to work on that, and you know that now. But happy the way it sounds with how aggressive the guys were in trying to get in there.
Yeah, we talked about it early in the season, trying to get out and let it fly, and aggressive mistakes I can work with. Guys that sit back and wrestle tentative, it's kind of hard to deal with, especially early on. But guys that are willing to go out there and let it fly, you can just work on cleaning up and kind of fine-tuning those details, and that's really fun to see.
Jake Earlbeck, a champion for you last night at 157, finished 3-0 on the night. Won his championship match by decision 5-0 against the Summerlot kid Ryan from Pocahontas area. How did he go out and wrestle?
Jake looked tough. I mean, he looked smart on the mat. Just really situationally aware, very kind of calm and poised, and went out and was just efficient with his attacks.
Anything surprise you with the way he looked, or was that kind of what you anticipated from him?
No, I mean, Jake's, he's a good, tough wrestler. He's an intelligent wrestler, so I knew he'd be looking good. Anytime you have someone that misses quite a bit of time, as he did coming back from an injury, you kind of wonder, where they're going to be at right away, and I knew he could get there, and he's looking pretty solid already, so happy to see that. Emmetsburg
usually pretty strong. He beat the Yates kid in the semis 4-2. How did he come through there?
Just a tough, grinded-out match. Couple good leg attacks and solid riding, and just, didn't force anything, didn't make any dumb mistakes, and was able to win a tight one over a pretty solid kid.
Tate Barrett and Owen Neppel both finishing up in second place for you. Bryce Wiskus. What jumped out for you on how both Bryce and also Owen wrestled?
They both had good tempo. Especially early on in the day, but Owen was hitting his shots pretty quick and looking good there. And, again, we got to tweak a few things with our finishes, but he's looking good so far. Always room to improve, but he wrestled confident. And so that confidence is good to see, especially coming off, the way his season ended last year, how he's got a lot to be confident in. And so to carry that over is pretty good for him, and he had a pretty solid night. Same thing with Bryce. Bryce had a really good football season. He had a good end to his wrestling season last year, so he's carrying a lot of confidence right now. And he was in a tight match in the finals and made a mistake, and it cost him. But, that's when I'd love to see go a full 6 minutes, because it was a lot of fun wrestling prior to that fall happening.
I mentioned Tate Barrett. He did finish in third, dropped his opening match, but then came back. And I think you got to be happy with the fact that he come back to win his next three, including winning by fall in that third-place match. And then Caleb Hoffman also bringing home a third-place finish for you. How'd those two guys look?
Yeah, they look solid too. Tate's getting tougher and tougher every day. Ran into a stud round one, and that was pretty tough. But we were scrapping with him and kind of got caught up in a situation that we didn't need to put ourselves in, and something to learn from and something to grow from. But he looked good the rest of the day. He shook it off and bounced back. And in the third place match, it was a lot tougher than you'd think looking at the score. And he just kind of calm and patient and found his opportunities and took advantage of them. So that was really good to see out of Tate. And, same thing with Owen. Owen was firing off attacks. He was riding tough. Even his loss is something to grow from, and it was a good competitive match. So, yeah, pretty happy with his effort as well.
Anybody else that didn't maybe finish top three really jump off the board at you and maybe go out and do some things against some really good competition that made you pretty pleased?
McGuire Hoyt looked pretty good. He's a guy that, kind of like we talked about earlier with a few guys, just getting better and better every time out. And we're early in the season, but you look at where he was end of last year even to now, he's come a long ways, and he had a good tournament, coming in fifth, but in his losses there was stuff to take away from, so I'm excited to see what he's capable of the rest of the way. Jake Smith and Joe Klein both had some pretty good moments in there as well. Kent Sanders had some good moments. Just guys that are getting out and finding ways to, figure out where they want to be and how to put themselves there, so a lot of good things.
Coach, you guys off today, means you wrestled last night, but back to action Tuesday down at Shenandoah. What are you looking at with the invite down there?
It'll be the first time our whole team travels together. Varsity and JV guys, everyone getting there, getting matches in together, so that'll be kind of cool to see. JV hasn't gotten to compete yet this year, so getting those guys to mat time will be awesome for them. It should be a pretty competitive night, and so I'm looking forward to our first duels of the year.
Well, Coach, I tell you what, appreciate you joining us here, getting up early after being on the road late last night. Appreciate you joining us again. Congrats on a good start to the season. Best of luck coming up on Tuesday. Looking forward to catching up with you again next week.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You bet. Head coach Shane Vaughn again with the Kemper boys wrestling team. We'll step away, take a break. We're going to flip back over to basketball. Katie Cook, Carroll girls basketball coach, set to join us next here on the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show.
Here at Pizza Ranch, we love our basketball. Just like you love everyone's favorite buffet. Hot, fresh pizza, the country's best chicken, fresh, cool salad bar, and dessert options that are so good, it's like sinking the winning shot at the buzzer. Pizza Ranch is a perfect meal option every day of the week. And to make it even sweeter, we have extended hours every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Whoa, that's good.
Pizza Ranch, located just off Highway 30 in Carroll, open 7 days a week.
Back here at the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show on 1380 AM, 95.1 FM KCM. Jeff Blankman joined right now by Carroll Tiger head girls basketball coach Katie Cook. And Katie, good to catch up with you on this Saturday morning.
Oh, always, Jeff.
Katie, man, it was such a good week going. You guys picked up a hard-fought overtime win on Tuesday. We'll talk about that here in a moment. But really good performance the way it sounds last night, but came up just short, losing by 1 at home to Gilbert, and kind of a tough one to lose. Sounds like you guys really controlled maybe the first 3 quarters of that one.
Hey, absolutely. We looked really good for 3 quarters. We just have to find a way to put together a whole game and finish. It was a heartbreaker. I'm really proud of our girls. We had a tremendous first half. So we're just going to learn from it. And the good news is we get to see Gilbert again. So hopefully we can get some payback.
What went so well for you first half and in the third quarter? I think you said you had gotten up by 14 in the third.
Yeah, we were halfway through the third. We were up 14. We were feeling pretty good. But to Gilbert's credit, they fought hard. They played tough. Their coach made some defensive adjustments. They switched to a zone, and typically that's something that we handle pretty well. But for some reason, it gave us some trouble. Our turnovers led to their points, and we couldn't finish. Ended up losing by 1. I got a couple looks there in the final seconds, but couldn't finish. Couldn't get a call. So here we are.
Yeah, Kate, you suffered just your first loss of the year, so sitting 2-1 heading into your game next Tuesday against North Polk here at home. But it sounds like Caitlin Aiden hit a big shot for you late to tie it. I think a 3.
Yeah, we did a good job moving the ball against their zone, and she wound up with an open 3. Nailed it to tie the game. Olivia Rowetter fouled out in the final. I think there was 1 minute left in the game, and Olivia fouled out. She played great. That kid is tough. She has a lot of grit. She plays really hard. And so in the final minute, losing her is tough. But, they went up 1 with a free throw there, and then we didn't get failed to get the last bucket there.
I thought you guys rebounded well on Tuesday. How did you rebound on Friday?
At times we rebounded well. I think, when we get tired towards the end of the game, we lose that a little bit. But like I told you the other night, I'm never real happy. If we let them get 1 offensive rebound, I'm not happy. But something we'll continue to work on. We actually went to a zone tonight, which we don't typically do. We were in a zone the whole game, pretty much the whole game, and we just it's new, so we need to learn how to box out of it.
Did you feel like the zone worked pretty well for you? You did hold them to 49 points.
It's intended to try and keep us out of some foul trouble. We play a lot of teams that dribble, drive, and kick, and then that kind of gets us those ticky-tack fouls because we've got a little bit more size this year. I think it worked well. It's just something that as a unit of coaches and players, we're going to have to figure out together because it's new. But I'm excited about it. It looks good tonight. I think it threw him for a loop. It threw Gilbert for a loop for a little while. I think it was, a big part of our lead there.
Coach, let's bounce back to Tuesday. Overtime win against Kemper, the crosstown rival. That was a hard-fought game. I think you guys had the largest lead at one point at 6 or something like that. But just a terrific game. You guys find a way to come out on top at the end. As you went back, as I know you did, you watched the film that night and finished up the stats and then sent them off to us, and we appreciate you doing that all the time. But what did you learn different maybe from watching the film that maybe as you're coaching, you get caught up talking to somebody or on the bench or something? What did you see differently?
With me, it's usually just the little things. And like tonight, we lost by 1 point. So there's probably several little things that we could have done differently. Set a better screen. Don't give up on that one play. Make that box out. Ball fake there instead of just winging it across the court, and that turnover. 1 point. Any one of those tiny little things could have been the difference. The 1 point was last night, but Kemper was. Oh man, why is that always so close? Where do you sign up for those cupcakes early on in the season where you can try to get your act together? I'll sign up for that. No, it was a great game, and Kemper's very well coached. They've got some great players, and I know the girls they all know each other and they're buds. They like to get on the court and compete, so it's always a good one.
Coach, Tuesday night, you guys get to host North Polk. As you and I were kind of talking, you guys are home a lot, it seems like, early this season, which is a good thing. You don't have to go on the road. Gives kind of a young team a chance maybe to grow. But I know North Polk last year was really, really good. I'm anticipating they're probably awfully good again this year. But you guys seem to be playing really well here early on.
Yeah, I'm proud of us. We've showed some toughness and we've showed a lot of growth since day one. So if we can just continue to get better every day, and that's the only way to do it, one step at a time, to be the strongest team we can be come February. North Polk will be good. They're well coached. It's a solid program. They've got a lot of girls that have played a lot of basketball. I think they'll be younger this year. I think they've got a 6'1" center, and then they've got one of the best point guards in our conference, maybe in the state. I think she might be a junior. So yeah, they'll be tough. It'll be similar to tonight with the style of play.
Well, Coach, as always, we appreciate you joining us. Sorry about the disappointing loss on Friday night, but appreciate the time here today. Best of luck. I know KC will see you guys Tuesday night against North Polk, and then I get you Saturday next week against Storm Lake.
All right. Looking forward to it. Thanks, Jeff.
You bet. Head coach Katie Cook again with the Carroll girls basketball team. We'll be back. We're going to turn our focus over to Carroll boys swimming with head coach Deb Danner when we come back on the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show.
Nothing says Merry Christmas like our Ladies' Day sale. How about 25% off the entire store at Wilkie Clothiers today through Sunday? Our way of saying thank you for your support this year. That's 25% off the entire store at Wilkie Clothiers today through Sunday.
We're back here on the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show. Jeff Blankman talking right now with Deb Danner, of course. She is the boys swim coach up at Carroll High School, and what a start to the season they've had here so far. Coach, appreciate you joining us here today.
Yep, it's good to be here.
You bet, Coach. You're pretty excited about this year. We'll talk about that coming up here in a moment. But you guys started the season with a pretty dominant performance up at Fort Dodge on a Tuesday night. Took on both Spencer and, of course, Fort Dodge. And it really wasn't close in either one of those team duels. You guys kind of dominated that meet the way it looks overall.
Yeah, we did. We took first in everything. We did either second or third in most events also. So yeah, the boys, it was their first meet. They were excited to get out there and race, and that's exactly what they did. They got out there and they raced, and they had a great time.
And I got the sense in the email from you that night with the results that really happy with the times for early in the season.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at is how are we going to start the season out, which will give me a pretty good indication how we'll finish the season out. So, yeah, we had some really strong swims. A lot of kids swimming pretty close to their personal best from last year. So that is just great to see. And yeah, we're just going to keep getting stronger throughout the season.
And this group pretty deep the way it sounds, and really strong in a lot of different areas. Where right now, early in the season, especially coming out of that first meet, is it just every single race that's going to be really strong, or do you feel like you're better in the the freestyles or the backstrokes or the best? Where's the depth at for you?
No, I feel like we have a solid team from top to bottom. Every single event is going to be good races no matter where we go. I think we'll show up with some really good races.
What stood out for you then, or did anybody really kind of, I know you always know how your kids are going to do. Did anybody exceed that for you on Tuesday night up at Fort Dodge?
Well, so I got a couple of new swimmers, a few new swimmers. So wasn't real sure what they were going to do. So like we have Landon Cadwell that, he's from Denison, wasn't sure what he all had, and kid's a strong little swimmer there. He's doing very well so far for us, so that was great to see. So it's like, great, I got another one right up there on the top, and that was just that is a great thing to have a new swimmer coming in like that. Nice little surprises. Jacob Graving is doing really good, swimming fairly close to his personal best. So, that makes me feel good that, we're going to have a nice, strong season with him. We have another new swimmer, Tegan Renzi, who, I have known Tegan for a lot of years, and he's a strong swimmer, and I was very excited to have him on the team. So, yeah, he threw out some really great times for us. So, and just all the boys are doing great. Weston Toff has really stepped up this year from last year, so that's exciting. So, we've added to our top tier swimmers, so that is really nice to see.
Coach, with this team, I'm getting the sense there could be some new school records set with this group.
Definitely, yes. So we got a few of them that are looking to try and take records down early this season. So I hope they do it too. So yeah, we'll have some records broken this year for sure.
Do you want to mention any particular events you think you might get, or do you want to keep that private until until it happens and keep the pressure off?
We're just gonna keep it to ourselves until we actually have it happen. Yeah, no pressure on anybody to try and take a record down. Pressure is always a killer. So, yeah, we'll just wait and see what happens.
You guys are on the road again today over to Boone for their meet today. Going to be a pretty good field the way it sounds, but I think you're pretty confident in what this team's capable of today.
Yeah, what we saw at Fort Dodge makes me feel really good about this meet. We're going to have some good competition for sure, but I feel like the boys, they're really pumped. They're really excited after swimming up at Fort Dodge, and yeah, I think we're going to see some amazing times again.
And this is one of those different meets, correct, with the way things are run? Isn't everything pairs or something, if I remember correctly?
Yeah, it's a relay meet, so every event is a relay. So like the 200 freestyle, first kid dives in, swims the 200 freestyle. Second kid does a relay exchange from that and swims the 200 freestyle. So yeah, the entire meet is set up that way. So every race it depends on your partner how well you're going to do. So you're counting on each other to do well.
How hard is it for you, or is it pretty easy with this group to kind of go through and match everybody up pretty well?
It's never easy putting a meet together, no matter what. Even with a strong field, it's trying to find the right combination, and there's still a lot to it. So no, it's not real easy, but it's easier than it has been in the past years. But it's still not easy.
Well, Deb, I tell you what, it was fun typing up the story on Tuesday night. I'm pretty excited to see how things go over at Boone here a little bit later on today. So appreciate you joining us here today. Best of luck coming up in the meet today.
Thank you.
Head coach Deb Danner again with the Carroll Boys swim team. We'll be back with more from the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show coming up right here on KCIM.
It's a red-hot big baking sale going on this weekend at your Carroll Hy-Vee. Now through Sunday, Hy-Vee sugar only $2.49, Hy-Vee flour $1.98, and Hy-Vee butter only $2.98 with your Perks Plus card. Get all these baking deals and more this weekend only at your Carroll Hy-Vee.
Andrew Klink, the head Kemper girls basketball coach, joining us here on this Pizza Ranch Coaches Show on this Saturday morning. And Coach, appreciate your time here today.
Hey, Jeff, thanks. Appreciate your time, too.
You bet. You guys will have your second game of the season coming up later today. I'll be over there to broadcast that again over at Denison/Schleswig later, Coach. But you guys did start Tuesday night. Went uptown to Carroll High there, just on the other side of town, the north part of town. Took on Carroll High Tuesday night. What a heck of a ball game. It goes to overtime. I know you ended up for you guys on the wrong end of it with a 51-47 loss, but I could tell you were disappointed on Tuesday night. If you went back and watched the film, what'd you kind of take away from it now?
Yeah. Well, you're always disappointed when you end up on the wrong end, but it was, it was a good game. It was a good battle. Between two, very, very good teams. I wish Carroll the best, this season. I hope they are extremely successful. For us on our side, I look back not just on that last, couple of minutes of the fourth quarter or, into overtime, but more or less the whole game. And, for us, it's little things here and there. It's, not putting yourself in that situation where you are having to climb back out of a 6 or 7 point deficit, in the, I believe it was the second quarter. And, it is just the little things that we've got to get better at to make ourselves be in that position. If we want to be successful against good competition, against great competition, we've got to be able to fix those throughout the game and not just say, hey, fourth quarter, it is what it is. We got to do what we got to do.
You mentioned, though, falling down by 6 or so. They were in that second quarter, but able to battle back, had a lead late in regulation. So what did you learn about your team then from being able to fight through those early mistakes?
That a basketball game is 4 quarters, and it's definitely a roller coaster. It always is. You got to be able to, maintain the highs and maintain the lows. And it showed me a lot of, especially with some of our youth that came off the bench. I thought Charlotte Hackford, stepped up and played a big role for us.
Yeah.
Kaylee Dirksen came in when we got a little bit of foul trouble and helped us out tremendously, around the hoop. And it's just, being able to handle that stuff is a growth aspect and not a, we lost the game. It's hey, how do we learn from that? How do we get better from that? Because, I thought in game we did a pretty good job of handling that stuff. It was a great environment, great atmosphere for a basketball game. A lot of external things going on, and I just kept telling the girls, only worry about what's going on the court. And they did a really good job of that. We just, comes back to those details, those little things that we at times just missed out on. Just didn't want to stay sharp on those things, and they came back and bit us in the end.
How did you feel like defensively you guys played? They did get a couple of girls in double digits with Caitlin Aiden finishing with 11 and Olivia Rowetter a big game inside 16 and 11. I thought that was an interesting matchup with her and Franny.
What hurt us, I think, the most was our inability to take care of all 5 girls on the glass. They're very skilled in the fact that they get rebounds. We gave up 21 offensive rebounds. That's going to kill you. Anytime you give a team 21 second chance opportunities to score. And I think that's not just on one girl, it's on all 5 of us. And that's something we focused on this week was being, better on the glass. Not necessarily on the offensive side, but defensive, taking away second chance opportunities for other teams. So, I feel like we were in great spots. We're not being strong with the ball. And so we really worked on, when we get a board, we need to be strong with it, take care of it, don't turn it over. If we get our hand on it, that ball has to be ours.
Coach, I get the sense at first game everybody struggles to shoot a little bit, but I got the sense offensively that night you guys were able to get some looks, but girls that I think will shoot better throughout the season struggled a little bit for you the other night.
Yeah, honestly, from the perimeter, I think we were, just under, right around 40% from 3. Every look that we got was a great look. We talk about getting great looks versus good looks versus bad looks, and we had inside-out ball rotation, kick-out, extra pass threes. When you shoot that well from the perimeter, that's great. we got to be better around the rim. We got to finish strong. We had some soft takes, some balls that, we didn't really have a great handle on when we went to the rim. And we got to get better at that. We're getting the shots that we want to take. It's just, making them at a higher volume. And, it just comes down to being confident and trusting what you're doing. We've worked a lot on that, through the off season and into the first couple weeks of the season.
What was the difference, do you think, in the overtime for the Tigers? They were able to outscore you guys 6-2, and where do you need to improve maybe in those situations?
I would probably say that for us it was being in that situation. We haven't really had that many overtime games with any of the girls that are returning. We haven't had many of those situations. I think from a coaching perspective, I've got to rep that more in practice, more situational stuff to understand, like, hey, here's what we've got. We've got this much time on the clock. We're playing with the lead. We're playing without a lead, no matter what it is. And, I think a lot of it boiled down to they made a couple of buckets. We missed a couple of really good looks, and, that's the difference. I would say from just an X's and O's standpoint from the girls, they did exactly what we wanted to do. Kudos to Carol. They executed and got some great looks from girls that had been making shots down the stretch between Rowetter and Cook and Aiden. It was exactly what they wanted to do, and they made them. That was the difference. There wasn't a whole lot of points scored in the overtime, but 6 points to 2 points. It's a 4-point differential in their favor.
Well, Coach, appreciate you joining us here this morning. Looking forward to catching up with you and getting to see you play a conference team and a non-conference game over at Denison Schleswig a little bit later on this afternoon. So thanks for joining us here today. Catch up with you later today.
All right. Thanks, Jeff. I appreciate it.
You bet. Head coach Andrew Klink again with the Kemper girls basketball team, back with more from the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show here on KCIM.
Dries Company, a family-owned electrical and mechanical contractor, is in search of experienced plumbers or plumbing apprentices for service and commercial work. These are full-time positions with excellent benefit, providing exciting opportunities for career growth, advancement, and stability. If you are motivated, driven, have outstanding work ethic, and safe work practices, this is the perfect opportunity for you. Please apply online at driesco.com or email your resume to service@driesco.com. Dries Company, celebrating 90 years in business.
Pizza Ranch Coaches Show rolling on here on this Saturday morning. Jeff Blankman joined right now by Eric Noggle, the head boys wrestling coach with the Carroll Tigers. And, Coach, congratulations. Outstanding start to the season, and thanks for joining us here today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You bet, Coach. You guys got things underway Thursday night, went over to Boone for a triangular. We'll talk about the matchup with Boone in just a moment, but dominant win against number 8 Webster City, a team you guys saw in the dual state tournaments last year, trying to get down to the dual state tournament. But what a win, winning it 52-30 and winning almost every single match by fall.
Yeah, it was a big win for us. I think we wrestled Webster City last year as well for regional duels with, I think, Hampton Dumont. When we wrestled against them, we would have got Webster City in there. And the last couple of years, they've kind of caught us and beat us in some situations, but it was nice to come through and get a little revenge on them in the opening part of the year. You never know how it's going to go, but I thought our kids wrestled really, really well, really, really hard, and kind of just got after it right away. So it's a good start to the year.
Coach, not a great start as far as how that one went. You lost 4 of the first 5 matches, but then you strung together 6 straight wins. What turned it at 132 pounds with Levi Dirks?
Yeah, I mean, their lighter weights are in there and pretty good, and we just kind of struggled a little bit. It was kind of pin or be pin, but, Levi came out and kind of stopped the ball, stopped the snowball effect, which we always need to kind of have. But, Levi's a veteran wrestler and has wrestled with us wrestled for us for the last couple of years. And, he just did his part, and, it's good to see him back after having ACL surgery and coming back off of that and doing what he needed to do. But he took the responsibility of it and kind of just, like I said, stopped that snowball effect.
Did it kind of snowball for you guys then? You went out, like I said, and won 5 straight matches after Levi, and most of them in pretty dominant fashion. You had 3 first-period pins, then 1 late from Owen Clucky with 12 seconds left, and then Chase Regaller gets a pin midway through the second period. But those guys that followed up Levi must have taken that energy and went right out on the mat.
Yeah, I mean, we called it the snowball effect on our side as well, for us to come out and get that move in, we're going to rely on that this year in the middle of our lineup. I mean, you get through 132 to about 190, 215, even heavyweight, in those situations. We got veteran guys that are in there and can do their job and do their part, and we're going to have to live off that. And, those guys can go out and pin. I don't like having to rely on that we have to get falls or that we have to get pins, but, in those situations, you got to kind of make it back up. It's kind of like the old basketball theory, Every time they get the ball or you score, you got to come back and score back with them, and you kind of match those points up. So it was a good thing by our guys to kind of have that mentality to do that.
How is Owen Clucky able to get that fall with 12 seconds left?
I can't even remember. There's so many things that went on with that, but Owen's just a grinder. He just holds things on, and he's just a workman-like. I don't know. I call it workman-like experience for him. He's takes his lunchbox to work and just hammers away, and he's never really out of it. Even when things aren't going his way, he somehow finds a way, and he just continues to grind it out. And that was a huge win for him and a huge turn swing for us to kind of get that ball back in our favor.
Coach, and you guys took on Boone last night, pretty convincing win there as well, 54-21. What stood out for you about the win over Boone?
Boone was just kind of a steady thing. Again, it was those lighter weights coming in, and, Jake Kincaid kind of set us off really, really well. We started off at heavyweight with Jason Avalez's first year wrestling, and, not even that one. It was 215. I'm getting confused. 215, we took the forfeit, and then Jason got a big win for us, and then, come through, and like I said, Jake Kincaid had a good match against Webster City in there, but it just kind of got it going, and then, again, back in Levi's hands, you get Levi in that win, and then Kale takes over, and Cooper rolls in, then you get into Clucky, and then you get into Regaler, and once we got that ball on our side, it turned into, again, that snowball effect, and we could just kind of run with it. And Boone took Webster City lost 36-30, so they're young, and they lost like 3 seniors 2 days ago, so I expect a lot of good things out of them, and Ryan does a great job and always has them prepared, but it's early in the year, so, you take it with a grain of salt. You want to do as well as you possibly can, but, sometimes it just happens, and Boone's a heck of a team, so.
Could you have thought of a better way to get the season started than those 2 wins Tuesday?
No. You know me, not a chance, man. I just want our guys to go out and compete and wrestle hard, and, we know what we got in the room, and we talked about it as coaches. It's really, really hard to kind of regulate or kind of, how do I want to say it, kind of look at where you're at, because our guys have been wrestling each other for so long that it looks effortless at times in practice. So you never really know how hard it's going or how well it's working and things like that. But our guys do a good job and just come in and like I said afterwards, we got the target on our back just got bigger. You can't walk away beating the number 8 team pretty good and not expect people to open up their eyes and say, well, here's Carroll again, So the target got bigger, and we're going to embrace that target, which is going to force us to work harder, and that's all we're going to do is go out and work as hard as we possibly can and put our best foot forward and try to put a show on and give her the best thing we can.
And you got big matchups, I'm sure, today over at the DCG tournament. What are you looking at there?
Oh, man, yeah, that's going to be a good one. 13 teams. You got Dallas Center, Grimes, Creston. They're in there. We'll see them like 4 times this year. They're loaded for bear, but who else? They got Adel in there, who's a conference team. Johnston's in there today. It's going to be a bear fight. But again, it's that first tournament of the year. We're going to go in, like I said, and give it our best shot and see what happens and learn from it and build from it. And it's a long way till February. You're looking at it as we're just hitting December, December 2nd. So we got some time to do, and we're just going to go out there and wrestle as hard as we can every time we're at Dallas Center Grimes, and hopefully we can learn some things and come out pretty healthy.
Well, Coach, as always, we enjoy talking to you. Congratulations again on the win Thursday night, and best of luck coming up today.
I appreciate it, Jeff. And as always, go Tigers.
Head coach, again, Eric Nago with the Carroll Tiger Boys wrestling team, back with more from the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show right here on KCIM.
Listen Monday mornings and afternoons for the ICAM Manning Minute. We'll be talking to the students about what they're doing and learning every week. The ICAM Manning Minute, proudly brought to you by Next Gen Ag Supply in Templeton.
Tracy Hoffman, the girls wrestling coach with the Kemper Knights, joining us here on this Saturday morning as they're headed down to Audubon for a tournament coming up a little bit later on this morning. But the Knights were in action earlier this week on Thursday. They headed down to an invite down at Trainer and finished extremely well. Just 4 wrestlers going down. But, Coach, you guys finished in 6th place with 43 points, and 3 girls out of your 4 finish in the top 3. Thanks for joining us here today, first of all, but had to be really happy with how things went on Thursday evening.
Yes, we were all really excited about the results on Thursday.
What was kind of the mentality and the game plan going down, knowing you just had 4 girls going along? So what was the thought process? What did you want to see?
We just wanted everybody to go out and give it their all, and all the girls did that.
Who stood out for you the most? I'm sure Grace probably picking up a couple of wins by fall to take first place for you at 110 pounds. But let's start with her then. What stood out for you about the way she wrestled?
She was really after it that night. She was trying different moves and wasn't afraid to take shots or do anything. She just really went in there and hammered on them.
Her first match against a girl she may see quite a bit this year, a conference foe out of Clarinda in Cambry Gordon, got the fall about late in that second period. What did she do to be able to come up with the fall in that late part of that second period?
So we faced this girl last year in the finals down at Stewart, and she went all 3 rounds with her, and it was a pretty tough match. This time she just was, she tried something. If it didn't work, she switched to a new move, and she just got her.
Was she able to just get in with both legs, or was it a single leg, or how'd she get her down? Do you remember?
No, I don't remember exactly how she took her down that time. I think she actually had the ankle pick on that one.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, lots of matches
Something
to try
new
and
she
remember.
tried.
Yeah, lots of matches to try and remember. So dominated her second matchup last night, winning in 47 seconds. I'm guessing that she just got right in right away and took her down quickly.
Yeah, that girl pretty much had one move that she liked to do, and we saw that when she was wrestling the Clarinda girl. So we knew what she was going to go for, and we blocked that on the defense, and she got in on the shot and just got her.
Kyra Walterman also having an outstanding night for you. Finished in second place at 135 pounds. Finished up her night going 3-1. Again, some wins over a conference foe and stuff. But what stood out for you about the way Kyra hit the mat and wrestled?
So she came in really aggressive on the night, which that's awesome to see. And a big thing with her, she was good that even when other girls came in on the shot and stuff, Kyra was good at scooting her hips and, trying to get around her. She never gave up. She always was giving it her all.
Ended up winning her first 2 matches. I know got pinned late in the second period in that championship match against a wrestler, Brooklyn Lang from Missouri Valley. But how close was that? Did she have some chances maybe earlier than that to pick up a win there?
Yeah, we kind of had a hiccup on that one with the clock situation. According to our thing, the clock didn't get started on time, but we'll just let that go. But she was, in the lead there for a while, but it ended up being that they went almost 3 minutes the first period instead of 2. So I think we kind of got worn out on that, and then we just got caught in the second period.
Okay, but able to bounce back again, got a no contest win for that second place finish. I got a sense with Kyra having battled so many injuries earlier in her career, pretty happy with the way she started?
Oh, yes, definitely. And she, with her and Grace both, they're seniors this year, and they have goals and they want to get there, so.
Sadie Smith brought home a third place finish for you. Ended up losing her opening match, but came back to win her last 3 matches of the night. What did you see from her with her mentality and what could help her in the future of losing that first match, but to be able to come back and win 3 straight?
So her first match, we kind of watched a little bit. We finally get her taking shots. She was never one to take shots, and last night she was hitting her shots pretty good. The first match, we were just kind of dumping them the wrong way, and once we told her which way to go, she just came after them, and, yeah, she was hammering them last night too, so that was pretty awesome.
And Kyla Wiskus, your last wrestler, did pick up 1 win by fall. Got that one in the first period. How's Kyla growing this season as a wrestler?
So we were pretty pumped for her last night. That was her first win this season. So that was a huge thing. We kept watching her, and she's getting really good at winging down and flipping them over, and that's how we kind of got that last girl, got her pinned down there.
Coach, you guys, as I mentioned, are back in action coming up today. You're headed down to the tournament down in Audubon. I think all of my area girls wrestling teams are going to be down there. I'll be down for a while this morning to catch up and see how things are going. But what's the mindset coming off of Thursday night? What are you and the girls looking for today?
Well, we are looking for more pins and wins, but we all know that we have tough brackets today, so we're just going to have to go in there with good mindsets and take our shots and make sure we're finishing them.
Well, Tracy, we appreciate you joining us. I know it's a busy day for you, so we wish you the best. A lot coming up later this morning. Again, I'll see you down there in Audubon a little bit later this morning, and thanks for joining us here today.
Okay, thanks, Jeff.
You bet. Head coach Tracy Hoffman again with the Kemper Girls Wrestling Program. We're back with more from the MC Country Cafe Coaches Show right here on KCIM.
Brinks Exteriors is holding their annual toy drive and open house on Friday, December 8th from 9 a.m. to noon. Drop off a new, unwrapped toy before 4 p.m. on the 8th and be entered to win a basket filled with local goodies. Brinks Exteriors, 301 Griffith Road on the east edge of Carroll.
We're back here at the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show on this Saturday morning. Samantha Vanami, the head girls wrestling coach, joining us as they're headed down to Audubon for a tournament getting underway at 10 o'clock this morning. Coach, as always, appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
You bet, Coach. Good start to the season. You guys actually got started before the Thanksgiving holiday, but we're back in action on Monday as you guys went over to Denison/Week, took on, of course, the Monarchs along with Audubon in a triangular. Came out of there at 2-1 on the night. I think Ridgeview was the other team that was there. Hinton, how did you feel like you guys wrestled on Monday? Because it looks like, according to the results, you wrestled well.
We did. I think every week we get a little bit better. The confidence is growing a lot in the girls that are new this year, and the leadership that I have for some of my seniors has really helped and improved. Taking some of the new girls aside, and they're giving them instructions or little hints that they have learned from last year, and overall, just as a team, that's helping. I think we're right where we need to be. I think they wrestled strong. And I think a lot of the nerves that they had when we were at Ames and even Nevada, I think a lot of those are kind of gone now because it's just, they understand that it's just go time and not to let it, rattle them too much, just to keep moving forward. And ultimately, that's all I can ask from them.
You had a couple of girls in Julia Canny and Chloe Jones go 3-0, all with matches that they wrestled and picked up wins. Avery Burke also 3-0 with a couple of those by fall and then a forfeit win. You had Brianna Kiger picked up a win, a couple of wins for you as well. Emma Daniels also got a win for you. So what stood out for you about the performance? So was it just the aggressiveness of the girls, how they wrestled, the smartness that they used out on the mats, or what kind of stood out for you?
I've been preaching a lot this year just about communication as far as that's what's going to help them in their future, even leaving wrestling, leaving high school, is you need to communicate. You need to tell people what it is that you need help with and what you want out of your career to include wrestling. So if we are not covering something that you do not feel confident about, you need to let me know that, and we'll make it happen. And they've been doing a really good job of, doing the drills and listening and then bringing to my attention, like, hey, I want to know how we get out of this. And we focus on that, and we practice and we drill it until they get comfortable enough, because I want them to feel confident and successful when they're on that mat. And just everyone this year has been very coachable, and that matters a ton. And that you could tell that they're in it and they want to be there and they want to be successful and they want to learn. And honestly, coachable kids is all a person can ask for, and I've got some of the best around.
Julia Cannon, one of those, Coach, comes into the season ranked, kind of living up to that billing here early in the season.
She was super excited. Obviously, she got 8th in her ranking, and she's just a beast. She puts her head down and she gets to work, and she takes the time as well to, get get to business and help others. Been extremely grateful for her this year. She's been kind of taking Alexis under her wing and showing her just what's helped her, because they're both smaller, they're both quick on their feet, and I can see the improvement on Alexis and just the mentorship that she's got and has provided, Julie has provided, is just makes me proud.
You mentioned Alexis. I was just going to ask you, who are some other girls that maybe are new to the sport that, are new to the team this year that have stood out for you here early?
So Alexis, yes, she's my 100-pound. She's hardworking. She knows she's the tiniest one on the team, and actually having to tell her I need you to bulk up a little bit, and giving her goals to gain some weight, which is a problem, by gosh, that we would all love to have, but she takes it in stride, and she doesn't give up. She asks really great questions. She doesn't get frustrated, and, rightfully so she could, but she wants to learn. And like I said earlier, we've gone every meet that we attend, we get a little bit better and a little bit better. And she went from, the very first time she wrestled, getting pinned early on, to being at Denison, and she went all 3 rounds and did some damage on her own, just continuously getting out and not getting pinned and not getting pinned. And, by the end, she was celebrating, I think, even harder than the Denison girl, because she's like, did you see how long I went? I said, yeah, you did amazing. And I would say the same thing about Ava Mankin. She, every meet she's getting a little bit better and a little bit better. And there's just a couple things that I had told her, had you done this different, you probably would have had that pin. But other than that, again, she went further than she'd ever gone before. And she's really great at just looking up and listening and taking in all the advice. And she's not too hard on herself. She understands that she's improving, one meet at a time. And if I would have Reese Heller, too, she's another new one for me. She's the exact same way. Didn't know anything about wrestling, wanted to give it a try, and each meet she's getting a little bit better. She's understanding, just what it's all about, and I appreciate that she just continues sticking with it and asking the questions to become a better wrestler.
Coach, you guys are down in Audubon this morning. I know you'd love to come out of there probably with a team win and a bunch of individual titles, but what are you hoping to see out of the girls today?
I hope that everyone just gives it their all. There's going to be a few teams there like Denison and Audubon and Perry that we've already wrestled before, so we kind of know what to expect with them. A lot of teams that we have not wrestled yet, but that's all right. This will be our second Saturday tournament, and they know what to expect as far as needing to basically go all day and not get tired out, and how to pace themselves. And I just want them to take what we've been practicing and drilling this week and just put it on the mat today and be successful, and hopefully walk away feeling a little bit more confident.
Well, Coach, as always, it's fun to catch up with you. I'll see you down there a little bit later on this morning. Best of luck coming up.
Thank you so much.
Head coach Samantha Vanami again with the Carroll Girls Wrestling Team. We'll be back with more coming up from KCIM right here on the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show.
Here at Manning Regional Healthcare Center, we offer our patients convenient care close to home. To better meet your healthcare needs, our clinic offers extended hours into the early evening during the week and Saturday morning hours to accommodate busy schedules. We also offer same-day appointments for minor injuries or illnesses for when you or your family need it most. If you're not feeling well, call 712-655-8100 to schedule an appointment at MRHC.
Your trusted experts close to home.
Pizza Ranch Coaches Show rolling on this Saturday morning here on KCIM. Let's talk a little Kemper boys basketball right now with head coach Sean Minahan. And Coach, always good to catch up with you. How you doing on this Saturday?
Doing well. Had a good week of practice after bouncing back from the game. And guys have come out and been focused, so it's looking forward to the game this afternoon.
You guys mentioned bouncing back. We'll talk about that Carroll High game, the thriller that went to overtime here in just a moment, but another game coming up today. Pretty good days of practice after that game Tuesday coming into today's game at Denison?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I felt like our energy was really, really good on Wednesday coming in. Our guys, it could have been easy to be, down and disappointed, but they were ready to go, and they knew we have work to be done because our goals were a lot bigger than just one game.
Let's bounce back to Tuesday night then, as it sounds like the guys bounced back pretty well. As I mentioned, it goes to overtime. It was a great basketball game. I don't think either team deserved to lose in that one. It was just one of those you hated to see either team lose. But you guys do end up falling as Evan Hammer banks one in at the buzzer there in overtime to nip you 56-55. Both teams had chances. They just came up with the final chance. Coach, let's start with that overtime in the last few minutes. You guys got down and then came back when Carson Candy tipped the ball to Brock Bading. You make a stop after getting up, and then you have the turnover and gives Carroll High another possession. But how did you see that game as you went back? You even said you watched film late that night. What did you see, and how did you feel like that overtime played out?
Just didn't like the way the game started from a defensive standpoint. Offensively, I thought we got some really good looks that just didn't go down. We're running some new offensive stuff, and I thought we actually got some pretty good looks out of it. But when the shots didn't go, I think we kind of got away from it too quickly, and still not quite there from a trust standpoint. But I thought our guys really picked it up defensively the last three quarters, and even into overtime, I thought our defense was really, really tough. We rebounded pretty well with the exception of that one stretch in the fourth quarter, midway through the fourth quarter, that they just had it felt like a 3-minute possession. I think it was at least a minute and a half for sure of actual game time that they were down there. But I thought our guys really just kept competing. I love the way they made plays. When we needed to. I would have liked a little better shot selection there at the very end in overtime, and I would have, ideally ran a different play out of bounds where on that baseline, Carter Putney popped out, and he said his arm got grabbed, which prevented him from catching the ball. It didn't get called, so it's one of those things. It is what it is, and I thought even defensively, I thought we had a really good defensive possession. They were trying to get the ball into Evan, and our guys were really focused on taking that away. Ball ricochets out of bounds. We had a pretty good feeling of what they were running from the baseline standpoint. I thought our guys guarded it really well. We just don't have the size to match up with Evan on the inbound pass, and he just kind of throw it up for him to catch it, and then he made a tough shot, and if it wasn't against my team, I'd be really happy for the kid because. I've enjoyed watching him develop the last 3 years. He's a good kid.
Yeah.
And he worked hard for that moment, and he delivered.
Coach, you guys had to battle back there, though, in the fourth and able to do it. Michael Kaspenbauer tied things up and eventually sent the game to overtime. What stood out for you about what you saw from your kids in the fourth quarter having a rally?
Toughness, grit. Just whether you can say all those cliche words, but the biggest thing is our guys just kept believing in each other, and they knew that they were going to put themselves in that right position, and they believed in each other, and they asked the guys to have each other's back, and then they really, really did. There was not a single point where they got frustrated with each other. If somebody missed a shot, they weren't mad at them for shooting the shot. They were like, "Hey, you're good, next shot," and the biggest thing is, they kept rallying around each other, so I'm excited about that.
How big was DJ fouling out there in the overtime?
Well, I'm really not happy about it the more I watch it on game film because I don't believe it was a foul, but it got called, so that was a big moment. Michael Kaspenbauer had kind of received he got taken out by two guys on a shot earlier in the game, and there was no foul. Pretty much the exact same situation, so I wasn't too happy about that. But I was really proud of the way DJ competed his butt off that entire game. He was an emotional leader for us. He's really done a really good job of that this past week and a half. He's really brought the emotion and the energy to our practice, and he was really encouraging our guys. Even after he was fouled out, he continued to encourage our players. He's a great kid and a great leader, and our guys really responded even without him out. It's hard to have him go out, but at the same time, at some point we're going to be there, and we still continue to do really good things defensively. Still got good looks offensively without him out, so that's exciting for down the road as well.
back in action again this afternoon. I'll be over there to broadcast on Kick 106.7. You guys got Dennis and Schleswig. I think they're missing the Weavers kid right now, but non-conference matchup.
He's back. He
is
was back
Sunday birthday.
Thursday night. He had 23 points. So he did miss their first game, but he had 23 in their game on Thursday. So he's back and playing well. He hit some deep
let's
threes.
check out our weekend birthday and anniversary list here on KCIM. And again, celebrating birthdays today on this Saturday, December the 2nd, is Hayden Hunziker of Carroll, turning 9 years old today. Also, Logan Rose of Dedham, happy 14th birthday today. Mary Brow of Carroll, happy birthday to you. And also Ronna Davis of Coon Rapids, celebrating a birthday today. Sunday birthdays, they include Lillian King of Coon Rapids, turning 3 years old. Also, Kaylee Kramer of Carroll, 19. Evan Putins of Ralston, teenager today at 13 on Sunday, 13 for Evan Putins. Alicia Wolf of Lanesboro turns 45 tomorrow. Trace Svoboda of Auburn, happy 14th birthday on Sunday. Also wishing a happy birthday on Sunday to Marissa Rothmeyer of Carroll, Kevin Lichty of Arcadia, Scott Mashing, celebrating his birthday on Sunday as well, so happy birthday, Scott. And Denise Higgins of Carroll, also on the Sunday birthday list.
Coach, we wish you the best.
No anniversaries either Saturday or Sunday for you, but that is your weekend birthday and anniversary list here on KCIM.
Absolutely. Thank you.
You bet. Head coach Sean Minahan again with the Kemper boys basketball team. Will be back with more. We'll wrap things up coming up right next on the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show.
Here at Pizza Ranch, we love our basketball. Just like you love everyone's favorite buffet. Hot, fresh pizza, the country's best chicken, fresh, cool salad bar, and dessert options that are so good, it's like sinking the winning shot at the buzzer. Pizza Ranch is a perfect meal option every day of the week. And to make it even sweeter, we have extended hours every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Whoa, that's good.
Pizza Ranch, located just off Highway 30 in Carroll, open 7 days a week.
Back to wrap up our Pizza Ranch Coaches Show on this Saturday morning. Certainly I want to thank Randy Beeson, Shane Vaughn, Katie Cook, Deb Danner, Andrew Klink, Eric Noggle, Tracy Hoffman, Sam Vanami, and also Sean Minahan for joining us on this Saturday morning. Thank you as well for tuning in. And again, we'll have several more of our Pizza Ranch Coaches Show coming up through the month of December here, talking to those coaches each and every week. Don't forget as well, our Player of the Game pictures are up on the CB Sports Network Facebook page, Twitter page, and Instagram page, as well as on sports.1380kcim.com. Audio broadcast of the Esac County at South Central Calhoun and the Peyton Sherdang Glidden Ralston doubleheaders are available on the website as well. We'll get game recaps and stories up from all of last night's basketball, and the Kemper wrestling is available already at sports.1380kcim.com on the Brinks Exterior Sports Reports. And today's local sports, wrestling and boys swimming along with basketball. We'll get those typed up coming up later tonight and tomorrow and get those available for you as well at sports.1380kcim.com on the Brinks Exterior Sports Report. They're also available on the CB Sports Network Facebook page and Twitter. Speaking of today's schedule in basketball, Kemper heads to Dennis and Schleswig. I'll have that doubleheader for you on Kick 106.7. Coverage going to get underway at around at 2:15, 2 o'clock, 2:15 this afternoon. Lots of wrestling going on today. All of our girls' wrestling teams, South Central Calhoun, Carroll, Esac County, and Kemper, along with Audubon, all down at the Audubon Girls Invite. That'll start at 10 this morning. South Central Calhoun and Esac boys teams go to Manson Northwest Webster's tournament today at 10 o'clock. Audubon boys head to the Harlan tournament beginning at 10 o'clock. Carroll boys are down at the Dallas Center Grimes tournament beginning at 10 o'clock. And Coon Rapids Baird boys head to Woodward Granger's tournament today, also beginning at 10 o'clock. And the Carroll boys swim team, they're at the Boone Invite today. That also gets underway at 10 o'clock this morning. Thanks for tuning in again here to the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show. Have a great night and a great weekend, everybody.